Hi and welcome to Ali Lives Well on Less. I'm Ali, an early retired teacher currently living well on my small teacher's pension. And today is Money Monday and I am going to talk about my February budget. And I have mentioned in the last couple of videos that I am changing a little bit of what I'm doing each month. So today's video is just going to explain a little bit about that. But firstly, I just want to say a huge big thank you to those of you who have commented on my extra video from the other day about becoming consciously frugal. And it was just so, I can't even think of the word, it was just so brilliant reading all the comments about how just writing down your spending and then sorting out all your categories have made some of you realise where you're spending and overspending. And that's really all I'm trying to do here, is just showing you what I do, showing you what works for me, what has worked for me, in the hope that it helps someone reach their financial goal, whatever that may be. And as I've said many times, obviously reaching the stage that I'm at now in my life was my goal. My goal was to downsize, simplify, and be able to live on my small pension for the next few years. And I just want to say a huge big thank you to everyone who contributes to the comments. I would urge you to read the comments, because there's usually a lot of sense in there. There is a wealth of experience and tips and hints, and sometimes just some funny stuff that just makes me laugh out loud, and sometimes I'm nodding going yep. And there were quite a few former teachers who commented on the amount of money that teachers spend, their own money that teachers spend in their classrooms. And so that I don't distract from the main idea of the video, I will talk at the end about something that happened to me when I was spending all my own money in my classroom, and the response I got from my head teacher, who was my line manager. So on to today's topic, which is my February budget. Now, I have said before that I track all my spending each month, and then at the end of the month, if there's enough left over, that's what I pop into savings. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't, but I don't stress about it. As long as I stay within my budget of my £772 a month, I am happy. But a few people have commented about how I pay for my house insurance and my car insurance. And last year I did budget for that from the money that was left over from the sale of my house. And that's what I paid my house insurance in September and my car insurance in December. And I think I made a video, in fact I did make a video about how I saved a lot of money on my car insurance. So if I remember, I will put a link in the description. So whenever anyone has asked me what about car insurance, house insurance, I have always just replied, oh, last year I took it out of savings and I'll do the same this year. But the last time I mentioned this, I really started thinking about that and thinking about, what if I don't have enough in my savings when the time comes? So I've been having a really close look at my monthly budget, and I've also had a look at the actual numbers for my house insurance and my car insurance. So love myself a little notepad. So that is what I spent on my house insurance and my car insurance last year. So my house insurance, $289.05, that was paid in September, and my car insurance, $269.84, and that was paid in December. And that's me covered for this year until it renews. So combined, that was $558.89 that I had already set aside in savings that was earmarked for that, but that was last year. So this year, starting now in February, I have counted out how many months until I renew my house insurance and how many months until I renew my car insurance. So my house insurance is due for renewal in 7 months and my car insurance in 10 months. So all I have done is, assuming that the figures are the same, now I know they won't be, and I will probably end up paying more, which I can take out of my savings, but I've assumed they're going to stay the same, and I have divided my house insurance by 7, because I've got 7 months to pay, and I divided my car insurance by 10, because I've got 10 months to pay, and I wondered if I could afford to set aside some money each month for my car insurance and my house insurance. So if I do that, that would be putting aside £41 until September for my house insurance, and £26 a month for my car insurance. So that would be £67 a month I could set aside to pay these insurances off. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take that out of the start of my month. Before I've even done anything, I'm not going to wait to the end of the month and see if I've got enough left. I am going to deliberately take that out of my disposable income and put it aside, and see if I can manage on what's left each month, if that makes sense. So if I do that, okay, for February, okay, got my trusty notebook out. So if I do that for February, okay, so remember, my pension income, 772, my standing orders direct debits are 365. So my monthly disposable income is £407. So that's for everything that I would need to spend each month, 407. So if I take off the car insurance and the house insurance, that brings it down to £340 a month disposable income left. Then I started thinking, each month I know I have to spend around £50 for Luna's dog food and £12 for her probiotics. So that's another £62 that I know I have to spend every month. So what if I took that off as well? So that's what I've done. So for Luna's food, now sometimes it's $47.99, sometimes it's $49.99. So I'm calling it 50, just so I'm working with nice round figures. Her probiotics, which I've explained before, is £18 every 6 weeks. So that's £12 for 4 weeks or a month worth. So if I take those amounts off, my disposable income comes down to £278. So if I put aside insurance money, if I put aside Luna's money, Luna's food and probiotic money, I'm left with £278 for supermarket, personal spending, petrol, any DIY stuff. As we come into spring, please spring, hurry up and come, I'm ready. Start thinking about the garden, a DIY garden. I start putting aside some money for that. Could I do it? Could I say that after these costs, could I live on my £278 disposable income for February? Well, I keep telling myself there's only 4 weeks in February, so I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see if that works and see what I've got left at the end of the month to pop into savings, which would help cover the increase in insurance. And I'm pretty sure that this year, after the storm, everyone's house insurance will probably go up because there'll have been a lot of claims. So I think that's a sensible thing to do. So whenever anyone asks, what about car insurance, house insurance, I can now say I have everything covered. I've got all my known costs are now covered every month. And that feels quite good. But I just want to emphasize that it shows that I've not got it all figured out. I'm still working on this, still learning. While I have worked for 14 years to get to this stage of retiring early, there is still stuff to learn. There are still things to change. And I hope that as I make these changes, they are useful to other people. So we've just passed the 10-11 minute mark, and yep, Luna has finished her yogi ball. So we'll see how far we get before she starts jumping at the camera stand. So thanks if you got to this stage in the video. I hope that made sense. But again, as always, please give me a shout in the comments and I can explain further if necessary. So, as I mentioned earlier, a few people in the comments of my previous video said that they were ex-teachers, and yep, the amount of money that we've saved by not buying things for our classroom. A few years ago, we were sitting in the staff room and some of us were not complaining, but we were commenting on the lack of some resources in our classrooms that we just did not have in order to deliver lessons that we had to deliver. And what a member of the management team said, oh, you know that you're supposed to claim these back. If you buy supplies or resources for your classroom, you can claim them back. And everyone sort of looked at each other, and obviously me, I was the union rep, so of course I was the one that would always speak up when these things kind of arose. So I looked at her and I said, you're saying that you will reimburse us for things that we buy in order to deliver lessons? And she said, well, yes, I mean, sort of, how much are you spending? Now, me being a note keeper and a list maker, I said, well, I can tell you right now how much I have already spent this academic year on buying art supplies, toys, resources that make my lessons more interesting. I said, I don't think you're going to reimburse me. And she said, why? How much have you spent? And I said, well, I stopped counting when I got to £500 this year. And she looked at me and she was genuinely shocked. And she looked around the staff room and said, are you all spending that amount of money in your classrooms? And quite a few people said straight away, yeah, of course, that's kind of what I'm normally spending. And a few people just put their heads down and didn't comment. But so I asked her, I said, so do you still want me to put in receipts for all these resources? And she just looked me straight in the eye and went, I don't have the budget for that. And I said, yeah, that's why teachers are buying their own resources. And yeah, it was quite eye-opening for my head teacher. She genuinely did not know that we were spending that amount of money for our classrooms. So yeah, I know you can't write it off on tax. You can't. No, it was just what we did in order to. Thank you, Luna. Yep, it was just what we did in order to deliver the best lessons that we could for our kids. So I think I'm now pushing my luck because we're now getting the Yogi Ball chucked at me pretty much. So anyway, so that is my February budget plans. That was my wee story about how much teachers actually spend in their classroom. Yeah, I think I'm really hoping February is going to go quickly. We shall see. We shall see. So I have £278 at my disposal for the next 4 weeks for supermarket, which I am aiming to spend around £60-ish, and that's half my monthly budget, which leaves me with plenty of money for petrol if I need it, and maybe some DIY or garden things. So I am planning on going to the supermarket. Thank you, Lynn. I'm planning on going to the supermarket on the day that you are seeing this, and I will fill you in on Foodie Friday as to what I get and put into my now newly defrosted and cleaned out freezer. So have a good day, have a great week, and I will see you again on Foodie Friday. Bye.